Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. Next up for you today we're going to be taking a look at another Clone Wars Deluxe figure and vehicle pack. You may remember in my previous review I gave you a look at the Freako Speeder with the Cold Weather Gear Clone Trooper, and as I mentioned at the end of that review I forgot to show you the battle game card and display stand, so I'm just going to do that very quickly before I begin this review. So there it is. Obviously you've got the stand and the battle game card inside with some very cool artwork at the top. So that is the Freako Speeder with Clone Trooper battle game card. As I said, forgot to show you that at the end of the last review. Moving on to today's review, well, the next review anyway. As I said, I'm going to give you a look at another figure and vehicle pack, and this time around it's this one here. This is the ATRT Walker with ARF Trooper Boyle. Not the most inventive of repaints, but still very cool nonetheless, and for the price I paid for these vehicles I really couldn't complain. Just before Christmas I managed to pick both of these figure and vehicle packs up for the price of one, so really not too bad for a couple of cheap repaints. So I will get on to the figure and vehicle in just a moment. First up I'm going to give you a look at the packaging that it comes in. As you can see, the backdrop of the box does depict Geonosis, which is the setting in which this figure and vehicle appears. I believe that this particular figure and vehicle set is based on the Clone Wars episode Landing at Point Rain, or definitely one of those episodes within that story arc where the Republic goes to Geonosis. Although I don't actually remember seeing an ATRT in that episode, so I'll have to go back and watch it again. But as you can see on the side there, you've got a very cool image of ARF Trooper Boyle in his gear. And then on the side you've got Boyle riding the ATRT as well. So very, very cool. On the back you've got a rundown of the figure and vehicle features. And then at the top there you've got a very brief description, which I will quickly read to you. Clone Trooper Boyle pilots an ATRT during the battle to retake Geonosis. An ATRT, or All-Terrain Recon Transport, is a one-man walker armed with a repeating laser cannon. With its height, mobility and speed, the walker allows Boyle to support the embattled Republic forces as they fight waves of battle droids and Geonosian warriors. So there we go. Now, I'm sure you will all remember that Clone Trooper Boyle was indeed one of the clones that appeared in the Liberty on Ryloth, or I believe it was Innocence of Ryloth episode during Season 1. He was paired alongside Waxer, and if you remember rightly, they rescued the little Twilight girl Numa. So it's nice to see Boyle return to the Clone Wars, even if it is in different armour, because obviously he wears the standard Clone Trooper armour in the Ryloth episode, whereas in this one he is wearing the camouflage ARF Trooper armour. So there we go. I'll just give you a very quick look at the figure's display stand and battle game card before I forget. There it is, and as you can see there's Waxer and Boyle on the top of the card there. Hasbro are releasing Waxer in his ARF Trooper gear in an upcoming 2-pack with a Geonosian battle droid, so that should be very cool to look out for as well. The figure and vehicle is a straight repaint of the original ATRT that was released in the Clone Wars line. It came with a standard ARF Trooper. As you can see, both the vehicle and the figure are exactly the same aside from the paint. If I'm being fair as well, I actually prefer this version of the ATRT, just because it looks like Hasbro have paid more attention to detail. The paint applications aren't too sloppy and it just looks better in my opinion, whereas this one just looks a little bit rushed. You know, you can see the camouflage pattern on the side and on the front just looks very, very sloppy, and it just looks like Hasbro have just gotten a paintbrush and gone, ugh, can't be bothered with this one, send it on. You know, they just don't look like they've taken the care that they have done with the previous release. So in terms of features, this ATRT has a pivoting cannon at the front, which can move both up and down and side to side. There's also articulation in the legs, up at the top and at the feet. A bit of articulation in the knee joints would have been nice as well, but never mind. Also the handlebars do move forward and backwards, so that allows a lot of posability for your figures. And as you can see, Boyle is riding the ARF troop, is riding the ATRT just there. So not many features for the figure and vehicle, or for the vehicle anyway. As you'll have probably seen on the original ATRT, there is a Z95 rotary cannon plugged into the back. That feature does apply to the new ATRT as well. I just haven't got around to putting one in yet. And the figure is actually the highlight of this pack. I really like this figure. The deco and the paint applications on him are fantastic. So I'll give you a good look at that now. As you can see, he's got that digital camo kind of effect, which does look very cool. And as you can see, he has retained the orange 212th Attack Battalion markings, which is very cool as well. In terms of articulation, this particular ARF trooper does feature all the same articulation as the previous ARF trooper. He has a ball jointed neck, ball hinged shoulders and elbows, ball hinged wrists, a ball jointed torso, ball hinged hips so he can do the splits, ball hinged knees and ball hinged ankles. In terms of weaponry, this one comes with the DC-15S carbine pistol, and one very cool feature that I've noticed with the figure's helmet is the fact that Hasbro have even carried on the Numa artwork on the side of his visor there, which I don't know if you can see that on the no, you can't see that on the artwork on the box, but he does have that in the episode. He does have a little illustration of Numa on the side of his visor, and it's really nice to see Hasbro carry that on into the figure. So very nice. I don't know whether this is just my figure or not, but this one does have very loose joints, but to consider the fact that he's just going to be sat on an ATRT most of the time, that's not a major problem. So there we go, that's ARF Trooper Boyle and his ride, the ATRT, this time around issued in Geonosis flavour. So there we go, very cool figure and vehicle pack. Recommended if you can pick it up at the right price. However, I wouldn't pay too much for it due to the fact that this is, as I said, just a repaint, and a sloppy one at that. As you can see on the side as well, there's some Arabesh lettering, which once again has just not been applied very well at all. You know, the stroke lines in the paint, the edges are blurry, and it just doesn't look very good. So, as I said, I would get this one if, number one, you're a clone army builder, number two, you're a big fan of the Clone Wars, and number three, you can find it cheap enough. My considered opinion is that if you come across these two vehicles at retail, pick up the original release because it's a damn sight better. So there we go, that is ARF Trooper Boyle with his Geonosian ATRT. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'll be back with some more Clone Wars reviews for you next, so stay tuned for those, and until next time, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.